Hi, everybody. This is Max Farrell. This is Dex, and in this segment, news and news avoidance. When to play and when to stay away. All right. So let's talk about this. No news is good news, right? Absolutely. So, as we all know, that news affects the markets and trading, of course. So we here at Dex highly recommend to stay away from the news and those news periods. But how do you know when that is? Well, we use our friends over at investing.com and their economic calendar and a few others. We have one over at dexsignals.com, but we just use the investing.com like we said. There is investing.com that you can go to directly and Forex Factory. There's a bunch of other ones too, but listen, there's a thing called too much of a good thing, right? Analysis paralysis. But let's quickly go over and have a look and see what we can come up with. Okay, so here we are back on in our website, dexsignals.com. And under the Signals Network, every Dex Trader, Dex Signals, I think even Dex Indicators has a news tab. And all we did is we used investing.com's widget to be able to come in here and be able to do this. Now, this thing has some nuances, right? First and foremost, when you get here, you're going to have to change it to your time code, all right? So make sure if you're GMT, if you're East Coast, it's -5. If you're West Coast, you'll have to just kind of find out what your time is in here. Mountain time, -7. Pacific time, -8, right? So very simple. Also, make sure you got the right date in there. Sometimes people forget that they have a few things applied. You can also do multiple days. So if you find yourself that you want to know what it is for the week, or you're setting up yourself a calendar to get prepared for the week, that's something, it's another trick that we'll talk to you about here in just a few moments. Now, let's read what some of this stuff is. There is, you'll see a whole bunch of, on investing.com, they use the reference of bulls, right? So you see one bull, not that great news. I leave them on there too. I let you know that there is a single bull in there and what the different news stuff in case you want to read it and find out more about it. If you just click on it, it's going to pop it up, give you some information. Now, the forecast is what they say it's going to be, and the actual is after the news comes out, what it actually comes out to be, okay? So we want to stay away from 2 bull and 3 bull news. Those are the things we really want to stay away from because that's what's going to affect the market the most, right? It's going to have the most, like even it says here, high volatile expected, high volatility expected. So you don't want to be trading during these times. Now, do you want to trade just around a single bull? You could, right? Now, there's also another question. Should I trade anything euro, or can I trade something else like maybe the USD CHF since it's only the euro coming out? And the answer is no, don't trade anything. Any 2 or 3 bull news that hits the market strongly is going to affect the market in many different ways, okay? Because there's a lot of traders in that industry. So it does get affected. So just, take the time. There's going to be plenty of signals. There's plenty of trades. There's plenty of opportunity. And we tell you how to manage your time and money within this process to know that these times are there, okay? And we'll show you what some of that is later. You can also go straight to just investing.com, and if you come up to tools and go to economic calendar, it's the same thing that we have on our site. It's got a couple extra easier buttons in there, and some filter stuff that you can do, but it really is just the same thing. You don't have to flip around and go to a whole bunch of sites, and plus it doesn't have a bunch of squeaky weird ads and stuff on there on our site, so we just come straight here. There's no ads and stuff, okay? There's also Forex Factory at forexfactory.com, and you just go straight to that page and it pulls up. Now, they use a different process using color codes. So you have yellow, which is low impact, orange, which is medium impact, and red, which is high impact. It's the same thing as you do over there. If you click on the folder right here, you're going to pull up all the market analysis for it. So you'll have the actuals, you'll have the history, it'll show you where everything's at. Now listen, if you want to go down the rabbit hole with news, that's completely up to you. But just keep in mind, there's a lot of information that is stored in these things. And no one, not that I know, I know there's a lot of technical traders out there, but there's no one that I've met so far in our little retail world of trading that has perfected the news. Why? Because it is so unpredictable. What could come out the same exact thing each month or each day in a row may be altered because of one other thing that came out. So unless you're able to compromise and know exactly what's and follow all the data, it's no reason to try to trade the news. Okay, there's nothing, we can't forecast the future. That's not what this process is about. Okay. Now, one of the other big question is, how long, once the news comes out, how long do I stay away for? Well, if there's just one 3-bull set of news during that particular time, you want to stay away 1/2 hour prior to the news releasing and 1/2 hour after. If there's only a 2-bull news event happening, about 15 minutes before and 15 minutes after. Now, what happens when there's a whole bunch of bulls and 2 and 3 capacities in all different directions? Usually stay away about an hour prior to the event, okay, an hour or two prior to the event, and of course, about 3 hours afterwards. Why? Because the market is crazy. Sometimes as the market's coming on board, you're going to have the market start going up. The news comes out and it may drop it, right? And if there's a lot of news, it's going to drop it far. Now, this might only be an hour in most cases, and then it resumes what it's going to do. But if there's a lot of news happening and it drops it down even further, about 2 or 3 hours, it's going to take its time to try to get back up to regulate, to get back into its regular groove. So you want to keep that in mind, that the more news there is in a particular one short period of time, like 8 to 8:30 or 10 o'clock or what have you, then you're going to get stuck maybe later losing a couple of trades if you're not careful. Now, what is the news avoidance system? This is where we at DEX have created an indicator that we are using for our signals. One that will tell us when investing.com or Forex Factory are reporting news, and will hold back a signal from reporting it out. This is where we can help us gauge our time properly and the signals to trade. It is still, now it'll keep that signal back from actually popping out. So it's still sort of in final development. There are some nuances. Later we'll even have a news forecast system that will call out when it's safe to trade and when it's not safe to trade. I want to thank you for your time, and of course, as always, I hope you trade well. I'm Max. See you in the next video.